Today I want to talk about Manny Pacquiao and the statements that he made towards gay people. Now, for those who don't know who Manny Pacquiao is, he is a world-famous boxer from the Philippines. And this is what he said. Pacquiao was at a TV station and he made this statement saying that it's common sense. Do you see animals mating with the same sex? Animals are better because they can distinguish male from female. If men mate with men and women mate with women, they are worse than animals. And the problem with his ignorant homophobic statement is that not only does he sound completely homophobic, is that he's also scientifically incorrect. There's been thousands of documented cases of various animal species exhibiting homosexual behavior and homosexual sex. Homosexuality is not something that is unique to human beings whatsoever. So for him to make these statements, it's just factually incorrect and it's not true. And then Nike basically fired him for making these statements, and he sort of backpedaled and he said something along the lines like, you know, I love everybody, but I am a Christian and I think that homosexuality is wrong, is bad, but I still love everybody. And then even more recently, he posted on Instagram and he quoted Leviticus chapter 20 verse 13, and this verse says that if a man has sexual relations with a man as one does with a woman, both of them have done what is detestable. They're to be put to death and their blood will be on their own heads. And a lot of religious people who are tolerant and accepting and open to others will see Pacquiao and his statements as being disgusting, homophobic garbage, as they should be, or as it should be viewed. But the problem with that, and I am an atheist, is that when people who are religious say that their books somehow are against what Pacquiao is saying, then that is just not true. And that's something that I've noticed quite often because, you know, there's nothing wrong with being religious, or there could be sometimes it can be wrong when you want to, you know, chop people's heads off or force on others. And most of the people that I do know who are religious are completely accepting of other people. But that's not what's in these books. These books are hate-filled books, and that's something that I'm constantly getting in arguments with people over. You know, I've read the Bible from front to back. That's why I'm an atheist. And I've read large portions of the Quran and the Hadiths, and that's why I'm damn sure not a Muslim. And, you know, people will say that these books are supposed to be some love, hippie-filled, you know, everyone's happy and, you know, sparkles and bunnies and just whatever, right? And that's just not true. You know, there's verses in the Bible that say that if you rape someone, then you are allowed to give the rape victim's father a dowry in exchange for the rapist allowing to marry the rape victim. And then there's other verses and stories in the Bible where it's okay that the God in the Bible basically kills all the firstborn children in a country to get back at the leaders of that country. And then, you know, there's other stories where the God in the Bible floods the planet, kills everybody. And, you know, recently I got in an argument with someone who says that I was misinterpreting the Quran, and they said that, you know, Islam is a religion of peace, and if you actually read the Quran and the Hadiths, you would see that as being quite evident. And I was literally quoting stories and verses in the Quran and the Hadiths which would show that being a warlord conqueror is the exact polar opposite of being a peaceful person. Warfare and peace are on different parts of the spectrum. Either you are a peaceful person or you conquer people and do, you know, offensive wars to gain territory. And that's what's in the Quran. You know, Muhammad conquered Mecca and he was a caravan raider. I'm not making that up. Go read it. But that's the problem. A lot of people don't read their holy books, or if they do read them, they, you know, cherry pick a lot of verses. And then when they see people like Pacquiao, who might believe far more than they do when it comes to these holy books, they're in shock that he could say such ignorant, hateful statements. And I tell people, the morals of these religions are incompatible with the morals that we have in the 21st century. You know, you can say whatever you want to say about your religion. Some people use a religion because it might be a coping mechanism, because they might have something tragic happen to them. And as long as they're not harming other people with their religion to cope with their, maybe they had a tragic accident or whatever, or a tragic incident in their life, then okay, I'm fine with that. But I do have a problem when people want to impose their beliefs on others and then do physical harm to others, and then use you know, their scripture and their fairy tale books to tell others how they should or shouldn't live their lives. Fuck that. I'm completely against that. And I tell people that religion is like a penis. You can do whatever you want to do when you're at home with your penis. You know, you can play with it, you can look at it, blah, 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 whatever. But when you go outside, you don't flash it around other people. You don't put it in other people's face who don't want it in their face. And then that makes everyone happy. Back to Pacquiao, he does have a right to believe his nonsense and to be a homophobe. That is his right as a human being. But Nike, as a private company, has a right to determine who gets to represent them. And I'm happy that they got rid of him. You know, if they don't want a homophobe representing their company, then they have a right to dismiss someone who is homophobic. Nothing wrong with that. And for the Trump supporters who are saying that, oh, people are just being PC, you know, people are allowed to call out people when they call for certain groups of people to be put to death. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, and there are things that are becoming very politically correct, and I'm against that. But this is one of these things that people need to call out when it happens. He's literally hinting on for people to be put to death because they are gay. Let that sink in, and that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and have a nice day.